Did you just make the perfect piece of artwork, but now for art class have to photograph it and post it to Google Classroom? Oh, there are going to be some problems, but don't worry because today I'm going to show you how to take a photo of your work using your iPad. We have so many problems photographing our work, but don't worry because Mr. Morris is going to get you through it on this episode of Photographing Your Artwork with Mr. Morris. For today's example, I've used this laminated artwork. I use laminated because it's got the shiny surface, and I know you're working a lot of the time with graphite. Graphite comes from your pencils and it will be shiny, so it's going to have a similar sheen that you see on this laminated artwork. As you can see, no matter what I do, I'm going to get a little bit of light reflecting back at me. So we're going to talk about first what kind of lighting you may need to use. The best light that you can use for photographing your work is natural light, the light coming from a window outside, or even better yet, just take your artwork outside and photograph it. However, if you are inside, you can try a spotlight. The only problem with the spotlight is a lot of the time it will create that sheen, that light exposure on your artwork. Let me show you what I mean by that reflection. Here you can see some of the stuff outside of the window reflecting on the artwork, and over here you can see the light bulbs are reflecting on the artwork. We have to kind of be aware of that when we take the photograph. Again, this may not matter right now with your artwork, but as the year progresses, you're going to have artwork that's going to be more reflective, like this laminated artwork is. Once you've found the right amount of light to illuminate your artwork, you'll want to go to the books, literally. In this case, I've picked out this big heavy book. This is probably too heavy. I want to find something that's a little bit lighter in weight and maybe a little bit thinner. I want to make sure that the book has a rigid cover. Let me show you what I'm going to do with that. Now you can see I have it up on end. I'm making this A shape, and I'm leaning my artwork against it. Soon enough, you're going to have one of these nifty sketchbooks that the art department's making for you, and you'll be able just to kind of lean that right over top of the book just being a little bit of a support. It'll lay on there nice and flat. It'll be very easy to take a photograph. But if you have loose artwork, sometimes you're going to run into this problem. You'll see that the artwork itself is kind of bowing. I need to fix that because otherwise that light glare is going to be a problem. How I fix it is I'm going to take the artwork, I'm going to gently roll it in the opposite direction of that curve. I'm going to give it a little bit of a squeeze, not to wrinkle it. Now you can see it laying much more flat on the table. In fact, it's even bowing kind of the opposite direction as the first time. When I take out my iPad, I want to go into my photograph. There's the icon for it. You'll click on that, you'll get your photography screen up. Then you're going to want to make sure that your iPad is parallel to your artwork. Again, you want to make sure it's parallel to the artwork. You also want to make sure you're holding the iPad with both hands, with your thumb ready to take the picture. I'm holding with one here. I'm not going to be able to take that picture. I'm also not going to be able to hold this iPad steady. If I tilt the iPad so it's not parallel, you'll see that the artwork ends up being all cattywampus. It doesn't quite fit in the frame right. Alright, this is the view from my iPad, and if you look, when I have the iPad and it's not parallel, you see how the picture looks really wide at the top and really skinny at the bottom? Conversely, if I move the iPad down and I'm looking up at it instead of being parallel to it, you'll see that the bottom looks really wide and the top looks really narrow, really small. So we want to try to keep it so it's parallel. And you can see as I get it more parallel, it looks a little bit more square. What I want to do next is I actually want to line up the edge of my iPad screen with the edge of the artwork. So the two of them run, again, parallel. This is going to help me to make sure the artwork is straight in the frame. Be aware of what is happening on your artwork. If you're seeing a section that's getting glared out because of the light, you're going to have to readjust where your artwork is or where your light source is. So be aware of what you're looking at as you look through that iPad screen. Here you can see I have a little bit of light glare, so I'm just going to tilt the iPad ever so slightly where it's still going to keep the image square, but that black is now showing and I'm not getting that white glare. Looking through my iPad screen, I can now go through all the photographs that I've taken. I'm going to look for the one that's kind of cropped to start with the best, that's going to create the least amount of work. I select that. There we go. From here, I can use the crop feature and By adjusting the screen or adjusting the artwork, I can kind of move that around. You'll see that my artwork's a little bit crooked still. You can either crop it so that that crooked edge doesn't show. In this case, I don't have a lot of border on the artwork, so I'm going to have to do this a little differently. I can also adjust it by tilting the angle. See, I'm playing around with it here. So I'm going to adjust it just a little, just to straighten up that one edge. I'm really focused on one edge of it right now. Once it's right where you want it to be, then again, you want to go back into cropping. I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to crop two edges now. Now I just have to pull down my cropping tool to the edge. Once I've gotten it, I'm going to click on the Done button. You're going to see that up in the upper right-hand corner. And there we go. I have the artwork. It's pretty much what I want it to be. From here, I would log out of this and I would go into Google Classroom or into Drive, and I would then select the upload feature and upload that artwork in. So here we have the final artwork, and you'll see that I don't have any light glare showing. It has proper edges. I'm not seeing like the table that was behind it or anything like that. When you look at the items that are being graded on your work, one section of that grade is based off of craftsmanship or presentation. Basically, this is what I'm looking for. Is your artwork photographed well? Is it cropped well? Do I see folds and wrinkles, or did you keep it nice and flat? That's going to be a great portion of your grade, and it's a pretty easy thing to do. It's just going to take you a couple minutes to get things set up. I wish you all luck. If you have any questions at all on photographing your artwork, please do not hesitate to reach out and let me know through Google Classroom. Have a great day.